Exactly.
You know, so all right, we're gonna switch on over. We're gonna talk some defense. Defense is ran by Leslie Frazier. Our D line coach is Eric Washington, former defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers. We will start with Von Miller. Von Miller, 2021, he had 710 snaps. He had 37 tackles, 9 sacks. He didn't have any forced fumbled, but he had 8 QB hits on 60 pressures. He did not play in 2020, so I had to go back to 2019. Correct. And he had 787 snaps. He had 37 tackles, 9 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 10 QB hits, and 58 pressures. His numbers are very similar from 19 to 21. It's just who he is.
Yeah.
He's and his run grade is like a 90 in PFF. Like, he's a fantastic run defender.
Yep.
Gets close to double-digit sacks every year. Plus, he teaches and helps other guys get sacks because guys are running away from him. He's getting 9 sacks being double-teamed almost every time.
Hey, Bills fan, it's all right. We forgive you. Mikey, do we forgive Bills fan?
Absolutely. We
all right. Okay. Just want to make sure.
We're only halfway through. We're talking defense. Tommy will break this down later over on the Mafia Sports Report.
Yeah.
And you can go watch them in sections, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. He'll have it broken out in sections by position.
Yep.
To catch the replay.
100%.
Dallas, I agree. We need a big year from the O-line. But you know what? I think we need a bigger year from our D-line.
100%, man.
Like, we have not gotten, we've put so many resources into our defensive line. We have not gotten the payout from it yet.
100%.
Von Miller is a big key. He's going to help our young guys. He's also going to bring attention. Like, Ed Oliver no longer will be double teamed. It's going to probably go to Von Miller. So you're going to see Ed Oliver get better. You're going to see Greg Rousseau get better. Hopefully we'll see Epinesa and Boogie to take steps. If not, we know we have a solid DN in Lawson. He's not special, but he's solid. And we'll go through his numbers. So looking at Von Miller to finish capping him off, he's been, the same guy. Everyone thought about, of his age and he's dropping down. He's not. He's, from 2019 to 2021, he's the same guy.
Yeah, except for the 1 year that he was hurt. His production is relatively the same. And listen, man, I know he said he wants to be on, get a lot of snap counts or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's not going to happen here in Buffalo. That's not what McDermott and Frazier do. They're going to limit, he's not going to be super limited, but
he's going to come off the field more. He'll probably end up around 700 snaps this year.
Exactly.
650 to 700 is probably where
he is going to be. What the Rams kind of used them to do, which is, here comes the playoffs. Here we go.
Crank him up.
Right.
Early, they'll put him on a pitch count early.
Exactly.
To make sure he makes it through the season. He'll probably be on a pitch count earlier in the games as well. And in the fourth quarter, you'll see him more than you would see him earlier.
Exactly. Late in the games, when the game's on the line, when we need him most, Von Miller will be there. You will not be seeing him
rotating out.
Right.
Very much.
In a tight game in the fourth quarter. It's just not going to happen. And to Mikey's point, when we talked about the Von Miller signing months ago, this is great for all these guys that we're about to talk about, including the defensive line when we go to that on next slide, when we're done with this slide. Everybody except for maybe a couple of these, like a Shaq Lawson, who's been around the game a little bit, even though he can learn a little bit from Von Miller. I'm not saying he can't, but I'm more talking about the Gregory Rousseaus, the AJ Epinezas, the Boogie Bashams. These guys are going to excel with Von Miller. They're going to learn a lot. They're going to play a lot better. He's going to get them playing to a higher level, in my opinion, right? And they're going to want to feed off his energy. So he brings a lot to this team, a lot to the table, than what he does just being him, right? Like, as far as an impact player, he brings a lot more than that. He brings, he's almost like a teacher in there, right? Even though he's a player, which is, man, that's why I love the signing, because he's more than just a player. He's a kind of a coach and a player, who's won 2 Super Bowls. We have nobody who's on this team, Mikey. That's, now that I think about it, that has a Super Bowl ring right now, except for Von Miller. I'm just thinking, is there a player? Am I missing somebody?
A Super Bowl ring?
Yeah, like who's the Super Bowl champion that's on this team? It could be offense, defense.
I don't think from a player standpoint, other than Von Miller.
All right, I'm talking about a player in the locker room that's been there, done that.
Only Vaughn. We have coaches because I know Cromer got one,
right,
and his stops.
Because I know last year was Sanders, right? Sanders was the guy.
Yeah. So this year it's Von Miller. Yeah.
This year it's Vaughn, right? Okay. Which?
OJ Howard. OJ Howard got one with.
Okay, OJ Howard, but I'll take Von Miller's more advice than OJ Howard.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just saying. OJ Howard.
But you're right. You are right. You are right.
But there isn't there. Oh, and no, because Mitch didn't win it. He left
right? No,
the year after.
Right.
They won it the year after. He lost. Right. He lost to New England in that playoff game.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, then the year after they won it. So
correct.
No, Daniel. No, Morris was gone the year they won it. That was the first year in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we'll move on to on the other side. So Vaughn will handle one side. We have Gregory Rousseau who's going to handle the other side. Last year he had 514 snaps. He had 46 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 6 QB hits, and 30 pressures. He came on early and late. He had a lull in the middle of the year. He had a good rookie season overall.
Oh, dude, Gregory Rousseau.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, first of all,
pick 30. Pick 30, he had a good.
He was a good
rookie year.
He's a rookie that only played 1 year in college. Who wasn't even an edge in high school. He was I think a tight end or wide receiver, who also played basketball, I believe. And then Miami put him to edge. He played his redshirt year. He had like 15.5 sacks, missed the second, so he only had 1 year of experience. We drafted him. Started right away, which listen, guys, it was just that's wild. And he made some impact plays. That KC interception, that was unbelievable, and that shows you his length to get that tip ball, the interception. And there was plays that he stopped running back, so I was like, man, dude, that was impressive because
he was a better run defender than I expected.
Yeah, bro. He's just listen. And if you guys saw his press conference, the one he did in OTAs, he's got about 8 pounds of more muscle. Like he's looking pretty.
He's still growing into that big body.
Yeah, dude.
Because he was a safety in high school. That's crazy.
He was 200 pounds going into Miami. Miami
he was like 6'5" at the time.
Yeah,
and 200 pounds, and then he grew 2 more inches and put on about 80 pounds.
Yeah, Miami got him up there in weight.
Yeah.
Carl coming in, he predicted Von Miller will be double team and not getting home as much as you want, but the rest of the line, Oliver and company will learn from him and will feast on the quarterbacks. Things fine. I agree, but I still think he's going to get. If he plays a complete, plays a complete season, I'm going to go around to what he's been doing around that 9 to 10 sack season.
I would say between 8 and 10.
Okay, that's fair. Between 8 and 10, and I do think you will see guys like Ed Oliver, Gregory Rousseau,
Daquan Jones, Tim Settle, Jordan
I think
Phillips,
all these guys'
Lawson.
numbers, yes, they will all feast because it's not just the edge. We got like he just said, Jordan Phillips, who was our leading sack guy.
He had 9 when he last time he was here, 9.5.
Right. So I mean, what's that tell you? And he's not like he's old, out of shape Jordan Phillips. Like he knows this defense. He's ready to play. Shaq Lawson can get to the quarterback. We know what he can do. So Boogie Basham, right? He's going into year 2. AJ Epinesa, hopefully he can figure out what is going on there, and he can get to the quarterback, which we all thought he was going to last year. But
he had a lot of pressure. He just didn't. He didn't finish.
Yeah, 100%. So I think everybody is going to thrive when you got a guy like Von Miller. And then the scary thing is if Gregory Rousseau improves coming out of the other side, man, Mikey, watch out, because then where does the quarterback go? He has nowhere else to go but the middle.
Can't go up the middle, and you got guys screaming off the edge.
Right. So it's guys, and not to mention our linebackers are sitting around there. So
and we have an elite secondary. So
Right.
this defense could get better this year than it has been in the entire time. Because we've been having a top flight defense with no front seven help, really.
Oh, dude, it's going to be scary good, man, guys. I'm telling you right
Jason,
now.
I like that.
13
Jason.
sacks.
Oliver with 9.
Yeah, listen, Oliver's also on like a contract kind of year coming up soon too. He has 2 years left.
He has this year and then his 5th year option next year.
Yeah, yep. Which I believe they'll pick up, by the way, and then they'll give him.
They've already picked up his 5th year option.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So then we're going to move down. So Gregory Rousseau had a fantastic year, and I expect a bigger season from him. One, he's grown into his body. He understands the game a little more. And so Rousseau, Epinesa, and Basham all went to Vaughn's pass rushing camp this year.
Yep. I heard.
So that all 3 of them were there. Learning early, and then they're going to spend all off season with him and training camp, picking up all the little things, plus all the attention he brings leaves them in one-on-one battles. So
yeah, that's on me. So
I expect a big season. I expect a big season from Rousseau. I have a feeling he has a chance to be the steal of that draft.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, he has such a high ceiling. We said that coming out, like his ceiling. He
was all prospect.
Yeah, that's what Brandon Beane loves, though. A lot of his draft picks are one of these high. They're all kind of Yes, like Josh Allen was a high ceiling kind of player, right?
Edmonds he hasn't hit the highest of his ceiling yet. But
exactly.
He was
even Cody Ford kind of was a high ceiling, right?
Yep.
He just hasn't gotten there yet, and we'll see. Maybe it's a low ceiling.
Spencer Brown, high ceiling.
Yes, Spencer Brown. I totally forgot about him. Another guy that has. Little experience in that position. I think he was a basketball player, tight end in college.
Tight end. He's tight end and 8-man football.
Yeah. So, for him, but they saw the athleticism and the ceiling and said, man, what, like, look at this.
We got coaches. We got coaches who can mold this guy.
Right. So now imagine this, Mikey. So I would say he had a okay season, right? Spencer Brown, like he showed flashes.
Yeah.
But mind you, he was with Bobby Johnson, right? Now he's with the guy who knows his stuff and Cromer, who's going to teach him the right ways, I think. Get him on like a little bit better of a track. And then he's also going against a better D-line that's going to that he has to go against in camp, right? So he's going to learn a lot, right? On both sides. So it's a good thing. Good thing.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Iron sharpens iron, right? So we'll dig into AJ Epinesa. He had 220 snaps. He had 14 tackles, 2 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 8 QB hits, and 22 pressures. If you look, he had a 10% pressure rate off of the number of snaps he played. That's really good. The problem is he's just so inconsistent. That's what they want from him. He has the talent. He's shown the flashes of what he can do. They just need him to put it together and be consistent. And then we go down to Boogie Basham, who didn't start early in the year but played late. He had 198 snaps. He had 15 tackles, 3 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 0 QB hits, but he had 11 pressures. You saw him take most of his from the DN spot. He also was out of shape last year, and he dropped weight this year. So he's thinned down to play that DN role. Like they were talking about using him as the combo and sliding him inside. But with what we got on the inside now, they had him drop weight and should be a true D end. I see a bigger year out of Boogie Basham coming this year.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think his ceiling's as high as a Gregory Rousseau.
It's not.
But I still think he could be productive. I still think he could be productive for this team, and why not?
So
yeah.
So I can see him being a DN3 rotation guy that comes in and gives you, 5 or 6 sacks, 25, 30 pressures a year, on part-time snaps, on those limited snaps.
Yep.
I the way we like to keep people fresh, I can see him doing that. And then we have Shaq Lawson. Old reliable Shaq Lawson. Last year he had 527 snaps.
Shaq is back.
He had 22 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 QB hits, and 17 pressures. That was between multiple teams and not good teams.
Right.
In 2020, he was with Miami. This was more of the Shaq that we knew. He had 554 snaps. He had 28 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 15 QB hits, and 39 pressures. That's the Shaq that I think we're going to see again this year.
Yeah. Yeah. And those aren't bad numbers at all.
And that's with, when he was with Miami, he was like the 3rd option on the D line. And in Buffalo, he's going to be like the 5th option. So he's going to get a lot of one-on-ones. I can see him being D and 3.
Yeah, and he's very familiar with with Leslie Frazier's defense, Sean McDermott,
and the guys.
Yeah, he's not going to be lost or anything on what they expect from
He's
him.
Consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then on the bubble we have Mike Love, who's been 4 years on the practice squad. Then we have Kinsley Jonathan, rookie UDFA out of Syracuse, who has an offer with the WWE currently. So if he doesn't make the practice squad, he'll probably go to WWE.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Daniel Joseph, a rookie UDFA out of North Carolina State. So our D-end room is probably going to be these 5 guys: Miller, Rousseau, Epinesa, Basham, and Lawson. I can see us keeping those 5. I think we're going to keep 9 O linemen and 9 D linemen.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that one.
So then our defensive tackles, this is our last group for tonight. Yep. We start with Ed Oliver. He had 622 snaps, the most snaps he's had in his career in a season. He had 38 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 11 QB hits, and 40 pressures. So if you look at his 2020 to 2021 production, you see the growth.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what you're looking for.
100%.
Then we have Daquan Jones, our new one tech, taking over for Star.
Great pickup.
And Vernon Butler. Yep. I love this pickup. He had 637 snaps last year. He had 37 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 6 QB hits, and 23 pressures. He played on the number 2 ranked defense in Carolina last year with other guys like he's going to play this year. I foresee him having a big impact to our D line. Then we have Mr. Tim Settle in 2021.
Another great pick.
Young guy. Well. He's a young guy too. Daquan's is more the veteran. Settle is the young guy. He had 200 snaps last year, 12 tackles, no sacks, no forced fumbles, no hits, 10 pressures, but he didn't play very much.
Washington fans are pissed, by the way, that he left. They love this guy. Yeah.
In 2020, he had 347. He got more field time. He had 15 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 QB hits, and 18 pressures. So you see, the more time he gets on the field, he was just buried behind all our elite D linemen. A couple of them were all pros, a couple of them were Pro Bowlers. He was buried behind the elite D linemen there in Washington. I'm excited about having him. And then Jordan Phillips, Mr. Reliable's coming home. He had 277 snaps last year, 16 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 hits, 15 pressures, but he played one tech for them and nose.
Yeah, he had a couple seasons he was hurt. That kind of derailed him a little bit, but
that's why his snaps were so low.
Yeah, I will say this though, he's coming back to Buffalo, where we got one of the best facilities, we got one of the best staff. That's why a lot of players here
and the rotation. And
the rotation. But we have a lot of players that come here with injuries too, and they don't really have ongoing it.
No, it's that performance center that we have. Like they don't have to go outside to do anything. They have everything in house.
So we relatively have healthy players. Even guys that are coming that are concerns or whatever, they were hurt the last 2 or 3 years. They generally stay pretty healthy when they come to Buffalo. We haven't had, knock on wood, like
we've had the least amount of missed games in the last 3 years. They did a stat. I love that, Jason. Yeah, 47 sacks. I would like to see more than 47 sacks. I would like to see us pushing, high 50s, low 60s.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
With these guys, I can see, with the 9 guys we have, everybody gets 5 or 6. A couple of them get, 8 to 10. We're pushing that. 9 guys at 5, at 6 apiece.
Yeah. I agree.
You're pushing 50. So then on the bubble, we have Eli Anku, who was a practice squatter and played a little bit last year. Brandon Bryant, who was a practice squad and played a little bit last year.
Brandon Bryant seems like he's been here forever. I don't know why. Okay.
And then we have Prince Emili, rookie UDFA out of Penn, who is, who I have a feeling is going to be the new camp underdog that everyone loves. He's a high mower guy like Justin Zimmer was. And then we have CJ Brewer, rookie UDFA out of Coastal Carolina. That covers our D line. I have a feeling we're going to keep 9. We're going to keep 5 DNs and our 4 D tackles. That's why I have them all pictured. And then I think we'll have some of these other guys on the bubble who are going to be on our practice squad. In case any injuries, we can call them up.
Very good. And there you go, folks. See, Mikey does such a great job.